if anyone has any doubt related to the topic which we have done, you can ask first. Then I will start with the next topic. Okay, Raj has again joined. Okay, students. So tell me if anyone has any doubt. Ritu, any doubt in yesterday's topic?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you read it in the textbook also?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, but I have doubt in
Okay. So
mechanism of concentration of the filtrate topic. Actually, I was not present, so I couldn't
consent.
understand from the book.
Acha, that time you were disconnected or what?
No, ma'am, I couldn't join the meeting.
Acha, yesterday.
No, ma'am. Ma'am, when you taught the topic
Huh?
mechanism of concentration of filtrate.
Acha, that your reabsorption part, that means, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So that we'll take up. Let me finish up the micturition, then we'll take up. Okay, I'll take up again. Then anyone else in yesterday's topic, if any doubt? So shall I start with the micturition now, everyone? Okay, so I'll start sharing.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can put today's date and write down micturition. Everyone put it in your notebook. Today's date and write down micturition. Now, what is micturition? Note down, it is the act of voiding out of urine. What is micturition, students? One student unmute and say. It is the act of voiding out of urine. Rumisha, can you unmute and repeat what is micturition?
It is an act of voiding out of urine.
Voiding out of urine. So you have understood that the glomerulus is doing the filtration, and after the selective reabsorption, the concentrated urine comes to the concentrated urine will be reaching the collecting duct, and then after the collecting duct it will be going into the renal pelvis, and from the renal pelvis it will be coming into the ureters, and through the ureters it will reach the urinary bladder. Now, once the urinary bladder is full, there is a sense of voiding out of the urine. So, what is that mechanism and how it takes place? That we will try to understand. Okay, just 1 minute. It is. So now I am playing one video. You try to see what is micturition and how does it work.
Micturition. The human body works constantly and it
Can you hear?
is never completely at rest.
Yes, ma'am.
Even when we sleep, our lungs
Ritu,
remain
the
busy
voice is
in
clear to
inhaling
you.
oxygen and exhaling out carbon dioxide, which is a
Just
waste
unmute and
product
tell that the
produced by our body.
video is clear and you can hear
Also,
or
the
not.
process of digestion of food continues.
Yes, ma'am.
Carbon
Okay.
dioxide, many other waste products such as urea, ammonia, uric acid, water, etc., are generated by our body due to various metabolic activities. All such waste products are eliminated from our body by the process called excretion. You are aware about the various important functions performed by our kidney, which is one of the most important excretory organs in our body. Urine formation is a vital process that takes place in the kidneys by various steps. After its formation, urine gets stored in the urinary bladder. But
Neha, voice is okay.
how
It's
this
clear.
urine is finally given out by our
Audio is
bodies,
clear to you, Neha.
and
Yes,
how do
ma'am,
we
but
know that?
sometimes
We
in
need
the
to pass
middle
the
it
urine.
stops and then suddenly starts. So it's like a bit disturbing in
That
between.
is
All happens by the
oh,
process,
okay, okay.
which is
So
defined
that is
as the
happening here
process of
also.
release by urine from the urinary bladder through urethra. There are two major events involved in the
This way it
process
is
of
cutting, na?
micturition that include filling of the urinary bladder and emptying of the urinary bladder. The urine formed by the kidney nephrons ultimately reaches the urinary bladder. It remains stored in the bladder until the bladder receives a voluntary signal from the central nervous system. The emptying of urinary bladder occurs through micturition reflex that involves impulses traveling from the urinary bladder to the parasympathetic nervous system and then back to the bladder. This reflex can be influenced by signals from the brain. When urinary bladder gets filled with urine, the stretch receptors present in the bladder gets stimulated, leading to stretching of the bladder. This stretching further stimulates central nervous system via the sensory neurons of
Sorry.
parasympathetic nervous system, which ultimately brings about contraction of bladder. Simultaneously, on the other end, motor neurons induce the sphincters to close. The smooth muscles undergo contraction and sends signals to the central nervous system that generates a desire to urinate, leading to the opening of internal sphincters, passively and relaxing the external sphincter. kidney nephrons ultimately reaches
Now
the
try to
urinary
listen
bladder.
once again, and you'll have to note down the mechanism.
It remains stored in the bladder until the bladder receives a voluntary signal from the central nervous system.
So this you note down. First of all, you write down that when the urinary bladder is full, the central nervous system sends the signal. Okay, then you will see further.
The
This
emptying of urinary bladder occurs through micturition reflex that involves impulses traveling from the urinary bladder to the parasympathetic nervous system and then back to the bladder. This reflex can be influenced by signals from the brain. When urinary bladder gets filled with urine, the stretch receptors present in the bladder gets.
So everyone note down that when the urinary bladder, how the micturition reflex is working. So you write down this is the first point or the first step, that when the urinary bladder gets full, the stretch receptors which are present in the bladder, they get stimulated, leading to stretching of the bladder. Everyone note down, leading to stretching of the bladder. This is the first event or the first step in the micturition reflex, that the receptors, the stretch receptors, are getting stimulated. Neha noted?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so shall I take it to the next now? Next step now.
Stimulated, leading to stretching of the bladder. This stretching further stimulates central nervous system via the sensory neurons of parasympathetic nervous system, which ultimately brings about contraction of bladder.
So this is your second point. So sensory neurons will take it to the parasympathetic nervous system. The receptors, the stretching receptors, that stretch receptor, they are sensing. Then they will send that signal to the, they'll send the signal to the parasympathetic nervous system, and parasympathetic nervous system will induce the contraction of the bladder, so that you make it a second step in the micturition reflex. Noted, Neha?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, everyone, I hope noting in the notebook. So
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is
Yes,
important
ma'am.
because you have to write down step by step that how the process is going on, how the micturition reflex is working. Now see the next step.
Simultaneously, on the other end, motor neurons induce the sphincters to close. The smooth muscles undergo contraction and sends signals to the central nervous system that generates a desire to urinate, leading to the opening of internal sphincters.
So this you write down. So previous one, it was showing that what will happen. Can Neha repeat what they showed in the previous slide? The
Ma'am, in the
sphincters will close.
yes, sir.
Huh? Did you note down that also? Should I show
No.
the previous one once again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Should I show it? A little, if
Yes.
I'll take it, so it will show. See now once again. Contraction part you have seen. Now the next
Ultimately
one.
brings about contraction of bladder.
So when the contraction will take place, so the sphincters have to close.
Simultaneously, on the other end,
Huh.
motor neurons induce the sphincters to close.
This point you write down after that. Because the contraction will happen and if the sphincters will remain open, so then the urination will take place. But the urination will not take place because the motor neurons are induced to close the sphincters. And remember, where are the sphincters? Present sphincters, remember students, they are the valves. Okay, sphincters are the valves which are present at the opening of the urethra. Okay, opening of the urethra. So they have to close. Until and unless the desire to urinate, that signal comes, the sphincters should remain closed. Otherwise, the urination will take place. Okay, so that way, this process is important. Now, the next step. So, note down this next step.
The smooth muscles undergo contraction and sends signals to the central nervous system that generates a desire to urinate, leading to the opening of internal sphincters, passively and relaxing the external sphincter. The sphincter opens when the stimulatory and inhibitory controls exceed the threshold, and ultimately the urine is expelled out.
So, noted. Neha noted everything. Should I show it once again? This one?
Ma'am, the previous one about the
The
smooth
last
muscles
slide.
construction. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. One more that means, na? Okay.
The sphincter opens. Simultaneously, on the other end, motor neurons induce the sphincters to close. The smooth muscles undergo contraction and sends signals to the central nervous system that generates a desire to urinate.
So you note down the smooth muscles will undergo contraction and will send the signal to the central nervous system that will generate a desire to urinate.
Yes, ma'am.
Noted now, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Acha, one thing more, just download in your that computer. That is a node option. Do you all know about the node? Anyone? No, node is what now immediately you can just send me that thumb. Okay, so that thumb once you send it, it will be waving here, and I'll be able to see understand that everyone has a copy and everyone has understood. Did you get it? Node option. Okay, नोट डाउनलोड कर लेना है एंड देन इमीडिएटली बस साइड में यहाँ पर वो वेव का साइन आप तुरंत वेव हो जाएगा एंड देन आई विल अंडरस्टैंड ओके आई विल टेल यू आफ्टर दिस क्लास so that how it comes. So noted everyone? Neha noted this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so you are the representative of all the students, Neha. Okay, so tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Leading to the opening of internal sphincters,
So note
passively
this.
and relaxing the external sphincter. The sphincter opens when the stimulatory and inhibitory controls exceed the threshold.
Noted this. The sphincter opens when the stimulatory and inhibitory controls exceed the threshold. Noted.
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Okay.
And ultimately the urine is spilled out. An adult excretes almost 1.5 liters urine per day.
So this already we have discussed that 170 liters of the nephric filtrate is formed per day. Okay, but out of that 1.5 liters of urine is only voided out per day. Means the rest will be selectively reabsorbed because that contains the water. So water reabsorption takes place. The salts, essential salts, they are also reabsorbed. The essential nutrients, if they are filtered out, they will also be reabsorbed. So that happens. So understood everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So others can also write in the chat box yes. So I'll take up to the next topic. Okay, so it's I have to log it once again. So now I would like everyone to tell me. So I'm stopping the presentation. Okay, then I will start with the next topic. So can you all one by one now tell me the doubts related to this whole expression chapter what we have done. So can you all see me? The presentation
Yes,
is
ma'am.
stopped. Your
Yes, ma'am.
okay. So now I want one by one the students to speak up and tell me. We'll just revise all the topics, starting with the first topic. So excretion is over. That was the last topic, micturition reflex and how it works. So one by one, I want first of all Devratna to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
Unmute your mic, Devratna, quickly.
Yes, ma'am. I have unmuted.
Okay, so Devratna, tell me that what are the different parts of the human excretory system? So quickly we'll revise in 5 minutes. Then I'll start with the next thing.
Kidneys,
Huh?
uh, renal artery, renal
Okay.
vein,
Little clear your voice. Clear your voice. It's less.
renal artery,
Huh?
renal vein,
Okay.
inferior vena cava, dorsal aorta,
Yes.
pelvic ureters, urinary bladder, and urethra.
Urethra. Okay. Now tell me where are the how internally how the kidney is divided into two parts. Can you name those two parts?
Yes, ma'am. Outer cortex and inner medulla.
Very good. Okay. And how many nephrons are present in the kidney? What number we say? Anyone else can also unmute and speak if you wish.
1
Millions of
million nephrons.
Millions of nephron. Correct.
1
Millions
million.
nephron we say are present in that. Okay. And so that functional unit of the kidney are the nephrons. Okay. Now we take up to the next topic. I want to know, other student has to answer. Devanshi, can you answer that what are the other organs which help in the excretion process in our body?
Yes, ma'am.
Liver,
Liver,
very
skin, and
lungs are there.
lungs.
Okay, so can you tell me how the lungs are helping in excretion process?
Ma'am, lungs help to excrete CO2 from
Very
our
good.
body.
Okay. Now the skin role.
Ma'am, skin have sebaceous glands on them. So with the help of sebaceous gland, they excrete the sweat from our body.
So sebaceous glands are not secreting sweat.
Oils.
What do they secrete?
Ma'am, through the skin, the sweat is secreted. So the all the waste are secreted from there.
That is very true. But sweat is not produced by the sebaceous glands. What is
No,
secreted?
ma'am, sebaceous glands oil.
Huh? Can you correct it?
The sebaceous glands secrete oil.
And what is that called?
Uh, Ma'am, I don't know.
Anyone if you are remembering?
Sebum.
Sebum. Very good. Correct. So sebum. Remember, sebaceous glands secrete sebum, and through that sebum only, remember, excess oils will be removed out. And sweat glands will secrete the sweat, and that will be removing out the nitrogenous waste along with the sweat. So that is there. Okay. Now, anyone else? Who can tell about the next excretory organ? Liver, how the liver is helping in the excretion process. Can anyone tell?
Ma'am, liver secretes pigments like bilirubin and biliverdin along with some uh, other
Yeah.
cholesterol and hormones and some drugs which go along with the digestive waste.
Digestive waste. Okay, correct. That is the way how the liver is helping. So you know that the old and worn out RBCs will be removed out through the liver, through the bile juice, because its secretion is the bile juice. That's very good. Now, can you name anyone? What are the disorders related to the excretory system? Anyone? Quickly, so that
Urine.
I can pick up with the next chapter. I'm
Ye-
thinking to start with the next the introduction. Ritu want to speak?
Renal,
Say Ritu.
renal failures,
Renal failure. What does it mean? Just in brief, can you tell me?
kidney failure.
Kidney failure is only the. So what do you mean to say by kidney failure?
Ma'am, the kidney starts dysfunctioning. It doesn't
This
work
function.
properly.
So what function will be affected? Just clarify
Filtration
because
of
if you have to
blood,
write down, huh?
filtration of blood will be affected.
Correct. There will be no failure. हो गया मतलब there will be no filtration of the blood, which is done by the kidney. Fine. Okay. And that's why remember that two functions will be affected. Osmoregulation will also be affected, and the removal of the nitrogenous waste will also not take place. So that is correct. Okay. Now other disorder. Anyone else can tell?
Ma'am, urinary tract infections.
Again.
Ma'am, urinary duct and tract infections.
Infection. So what is that called? Particular any name? Any name? Anyone else can also tell?
Ma'am, uremia.
Huh?
Uremia.
Again. Yes. Yes, Raj.
Uremia.
Uremia. What is uremia? See, you have to revise. See, I was telling that whatever we have done, you have to keep it updated. Anytime I will be asking the questions. तो आपका रिवीजन ऐसे ही चलने वाला है क्लासेस में तो when we were having the classes in the school so you were having the tests and all. So now test is not possible every day or weekly also whatever we were planning. But I'll be asking the questions this way only and you have to be very prompt, very quick in answering the questions. So who will tell me quickly? Tell me quickly the different disorders. Barbie, you are not answering anything.
Ma'am, uremia is the high concentration of non-proteinaceous nitrogen such as urea and uric
Huh?
acid.
Okay. That any other disorder?
Then
Renal
renal calculi,
Renal calculi. Okay. What happens in the renal calculi?
formation of stones in
Formation
the
of
kidney.
stone. Okay. Huh. Okay. And
Yes.
what are these stones made up of?
Cal- Salts.
Huh?
oxalates.
insoluble form.
So
Oxalates.
oxalates. Correct. Calcium oxalate forms those stones.
Crystal of salt.
Okay. So that was all about the again.
Ma'am,
Huh?
crystal of salt.
Crystals. Okay. So that will only interfere with the functioning of the for the kidney functioning. Okay. Okay. So now next disorder. Any other disorder which we are missing?
Glomerulonephritis.
Glomerulonephritis.
That's what I was telling. Devansh said, but he never said what is the name of the disorder. Okay. What is
Ma'am,
it?
it is urinary tract infections. Ma'am, it is an infection itself. Ma'am, in this any part of kidney or urinary duct are infected, cause causing blockage or
Huh.
infection in the irritation and infection.
Okay, okay. And what is glomerulonephritis? Who will clarify this disorder?
Inflam-
Ma'am, it,
inflammation of glomerulus
It is
of kidney.
swelling and redness and glomerulus of kidney.
Glomerulus. Huh. So particularly glomerulus part when it gets affected, so we say glomerulonephritis. Okay. So these are all the disorders which you have to remember, and just a brief knowledge you should have about it. Okay. Now I want the question from your part. If any topic in this expression is not clear to you, Ritu was telling which one? Ritu, just quickly tell me. 5 minutes
ma'am,
we have. Huh?
counter current mechanism one.
Counter current mechanism. Okay. Counter current mechanism is very, very important. Remember, it is related to the movement, that is the flow of the nephric filtrate in the secretory tubule and the blood flowing through the vasa recti. This should be very clear to you, Vicky. Okay, what you have to remember, try to see the location of the vasa recti. Okay, in the vasa recti, you know the vasa recti is running parallel to the secretory tubules. So secretory tubules, you know, three parts are there: PCT, loop of Henle, and the DCT. Okay, so vasa recti is running. In the vasa recti, you find that the PCT in that part, the vasa recti is taking the vasa recti is taking the blood upward, but the PCT, the nephric filtrate, is going downward. And because of this opposite movement, so we are calling as the counter current. Counter means opposite. Okay, so opposite flow is there. Okay, nephric filtrate is flowing downward, but the blood is flowing upward. And because of that, you will find that the waste which is present in the blood, that will be going into the PCT part or the loop of Henle, and if the water from the loop of Henle will go into the vasa recti. So that will increase the concentration of the urine. Means the what concentration will increase? Are you getting if I say that it increases the concentration?
Yes,
Anyone can
ma'am.
you clarify?
Waste
Huh?
concentration.
Urine will get concentrated. Urine concentrated when we say, you understand that more of the waste will be there and water will be less. So that becomes that it is a concentrated. So counter current mechanism is telling that only that how the urine getting concentrated, how the selective reabsorption takes place between the two things, that is vasa recti and the secretory tubule different parts. Is it very clear, Ritu? Now what you do
Yes,
once
ma'am.
again, you read it in the textbook. Okay, and if still you don't understand, na, so I'll be discussing once again. Okay, it's very important for the exam also, counter current mechanism, and on the long question I'll be giving you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, not less than 3 marks. Okay, and on what factors does the concentration of the urine depend? Can anyone tell?
Length of loop of Henle,
Very
Length of
good.
loop.
presence
Very
of
good.
vasa recti.
Presence of vasa recti. Fine, very good. So these are the two factors on which the concentration of the urine depends. Fine. Now, what I am wanting you all to know, that is one day you will have the MCQ test. Okay, and I will not be informing in advance that tomorrow will be the test. Okay, and the chapters, two chapters you have to prepare. And which two chapters you tell me quickly? Which two chapters you want to give the test first? Huh?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
respiration
this chapter.
Respiration and excretion.
and digestion.
Acha, huh.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, everyone agrees? Respiration
Yes,
and
ma'am.
excretion you said.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
ठीक है. तो
Yes.
MCQ, हाँ, okay, MCQ होगा. Immediately you'll have to mark and you'll have to submit. Okay, and you'll know the marks also. So that way, so both the chapters, all the students have to start preparing thoroughly. So 2 days time I'm giving you, and then any day I'll take it. 2 days time preparation को है. But after that, any day I'll take up. Which one? Excretion and
Respiration.
Respiration.
respiration. All got it ना? Raj, you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
और एक बात याद रखना, सबको फुल मार्क्स मिलने चाहिए. Is it clear? So prepare well. It will be MCQ questions. All have to score well. Okay, they will the same questions, the same topics what I have discussed. That all will be asked. Okay, now I'll tell you the node option. I was telling like you can just did you get it on the screen? You got it on the
No,
screen.
No,
The
ma'am.
thumb.
No, ma'am.
Again,
No, ma'am.
I'll show you. Did you get it? Not
no,
get it.
ma'am.
No,
No, ma'am.
ma'am. No, ma'am.
See, I am able to see. Okay, now see this way. The clapping. Can you see the clapping side? The name is
Ma'am,
written
where
and
are
the
you?
clap will be there.
Ma'am, where are you showing it? I
Where
can't
we
see it
have to
only.
say?
The screen. You can't see me on the screen.
Ma'am, we can see you, but
Ma'am, you
not
are
on
giving
screen.
out the thumb and clapping.
Side, the side only you are getting that. See once again. Not getting.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Oh, why you are not able to see? Because we get it. Okay, see, just raising hand. Could you get it? No.
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
So why it
Ma'am,
happens
I
Ma'am,
that? Huh?
shift the camera a little bit
Oh,
further because it cuts the images. And the when it's broadcast, when it gets broadcast, it cuts the image.
so no one is able to see. They are waving hand, and it's written Archana raised their hand that way. If you want to speak up now, so you can do that. Okay, I'll just see once again, and you all also upload it in your do it the node option, and this way the waving hand. Okay, you'll get it
ma'am,
in
we are
Google
using our
explain.
mobile phones and not computers.
Google,
Yes, ma'am.
what? What up?
Ma'am,
What you're saying?
ma'am, we are
Ma'am, we are
actually
using
using
our
mobile.
Okay. So now our class is over. I'll just stop the recording. Okay. So now we'll do Shanti part.